All right, let's look at our first example today. We're working with the unit circle, and we're going to find the point on the unit circle that corresponds to the real number t. So if we kind of imagined a number line stretched around that unit circle. So letter A, t equals pi halves. I'm going to jump back and forth in this video to our unit circle. I hope you printed it out. I hope you've got a copy in front of you. So t equals pi halves. So let's jump over to that. So here is pi halves, and they're asking what coordinate corresponds to that. Well, if we went along here, you can see the point, well, it's just 0, 1. So pretty straightforward. So 0, 1 is that corresponding point. So let me write that on here. So we've got the point, let me turn this back on, sorry. So we've got the point 0, 1 that corresponds to that. Not too bad. How about this one? 4 pi thirds. Again, let me jump back over to my unit circle. So 4 pi thirds. So you just need to look through and find it. And again, there's a lot going on here. You'll become more familiar with this. 4 pi thirds, of course, is farther than pi. And it's right down here. It's an additional pi thirds. So we're just looking for this x, y coordinate here. So negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2 is the coordinate that we're going to do for that one. So we've got negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2 is going to be that coordinate. Not too bad, all kind of making sense. So if they give you a problem like this, you just go find that on the unit circle, see what the x, y value is out there. How about negative 7 pi sixths? Negative 7 pi sixths. Let's think about that. Let me jump back to my unit circle. So negative just means we're going to be going this way. Now you don't see negative angles on here, but you can still use the unit circle to kind of count your way through it. Okay, so 7 pi 6, but in the negative direction. Well, if we go clear to here, that would be 6 pi 6, right, or negative pi. So we just have to go an additional pi sixths. So negative 7 pi sixths would be the same place as 5 pi sixths. And so it's negative root 3 halves and 1/2. So our coordinate here, we've got negative root 3 over 2 and positive 1/2 is that coordinate. Hopefully that kind of makes sense where that came from. Now last one, 11 pi thirds. Let's go back to our unit circle. Well, 11 pi thirds isn't on here. But you have to remember, these keep going, right? They just keep going and going and going. You could go negative direction, positive direction, many times around as you want. So 11 pi thirds, let's just count our way around. So if I went all the way around, that would be 6 pi thirds, right? 2 pi is all the way around, so 6 pi thirds. And I would have to go an additional 5 pi thirds to get to 11 pi thirds. Again, 6 thirds plus 5 thirds. So 11 pi thirds would get you the exact same location on the circle as 5 pi thirds, and that coordinate, as you can see, is 1/2 negative root 3 over 2. So 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. And there are our values, okay? So I'm going to have some examples on the next slide I'm going to let you try. Hopefully that kind of makes sense.